Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another podcast. Here, Antuan Coque, and I'm gonna tell you my experience doing volunteer in a school for blind people. Well, 2 years ago, I made volunteer as part of one project in a deprived area of Ambato, and I have never made something similar before, so I think it's important to remember this experience.
How was that experience?
Well, I think the most important experiences happened the first day. I remember I was looking for the classroom where I was supposed to work, and when I finally found it, all the students started to touch me, and tell me stories about their whole lives, projects, homeworks, and sadly, the economic hardship that their families were facing in that moment.
Um, and how was exactly that school? What did you make there?
Okay, this school is located in an impoverished neighborhood near Parques Valles. Maybe you know it. Um, and obviously, the volunteer was sponsored by not so affluent people, so the building was a little small. And however, the environment work was nice. The teachers, the students. There were so unexpected activities I made there. Not only did I learn to write in braille or take out the underground of a jar and stuff like that, I also learned to feel more human, more alive, and grateful with the things I have currently.
How did you feel when you finished volunteering?
Well, did feel kind of sad, and no sooner had I finished volunteer than I decided what I wanted to do in the future. I decided I would help people and make their lives a little better, and that's why I'm studying medicine currently. Well, that was my experience. What about you, Cami? Since what age are you interested in volunteering?
Hello everyone, I'm Camila and it's an honor for me to be here. Answering your question, Antoine, since I was little, I have liked helping deprived people or elderly people. And 3 years ago, I had the opportunity to collaborate in a nursing home.
How did you feel when you were helping these people?
It was very gratifying to be able to help with what they needed. And never have I felt so happy for being there. The experience was great because I did what I always wanted, and during the time I was there, I helped two women do it because they couldn't do it by themselves.
What was the most memorable event that happened?
After that, I remember something unexpected happened. A well-off woman who lived there took us to her room and began to tell us her whole story. It struck me that despite being there without her family, she was very well there.
And what about your experience, Maribel?
Hi, my name is Maribel Sulca. I am going to talk about my experience who I volunteered in a dog shelter. About a year ago, I decided to volunteer at a nice animal shelter in the city from where I live. Never had I had such an experience before.
Tell me, Maribel, is it difficult to work in an animal shelter?
Working an animal shelter, it had not been glamorous. The dogs looks a little bit destitute. If you work with animals, I recommend you should not wear new clothes or sneakers, because I remember when I had used to taking the dogs out, I stepped on poop.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
At no time did I regret the decision to go there. Despite all this, volunteering at the animal shelter taught me there are a lot of wonderful pets who are placed in shelters.
Did you adopt a pet?
Of course, wait, I have a picture. This is my cat. Its name is Martina.
Do you need good prosperity to adopt a pet?
Yes, I think it's yes. The shelter is barely able to help some pets make ends meet. So if you can adopt a pet, you can donate food or your time who a volunteer. And what about your experience, Andres?
I had been in Turkey for 2 months doing volunteer work to help Afghan refugees. I was part of a UNO volunteer group.
How did you find out that kind of volunteer work?
A friend of mine that lives in Britain had been covering the news from Afghanistan, and as I had been out of work, he contacted me to help him there.
And what did you do there?
I was there to teach them to speak Turkish. Many of them spoke Pashtun, and as soon as they arrive in Turkey, they need to speak their language. Other people in my group prepared food and given clothes. After the Taliban returned, many people had to leave their country. Many deprived people came to the country in horrible conditions. Everything was devastating, and they had to live by their means for days. I really wish that no one had to go through this situation.
Oh, that sounds terrible. But I wonder, Andres, do you know Turkish?
Yes, just a bit. It was difficult to me because I didn't speak the language very well either. But I think the most important thing is that I tried to help people in need in some way. And in fact, I believe that everyone must support the ones who go through difficult times. There are thousands of ways to help. There's no excuse.
Okay, that has been all for today, and thank you for listening.
You like our show?
And if you want to listen more,
Leave the topic you want us to talk about in the comments.
And remember, this was another podcast. Goodbye.